book was actually written by him in the Soviet Foreign Office. So that will show you the degree of cooperation between Fabians and the Soviet Union, at least the Soviet Union in Stalin's time. But you need to know a little bit about this Fabian society, because it was started around 1884, and it's got communism associated with it right from the very beginning. For example, Karl Marx's daughter, Eleanor Marx, she was one of the first group. Engels is associated as well. I've got a little book here. I've got a little booklet here, which was put out from Australia. There's a quote from Karl Marx here. Actually, I'll just find it because it's he's talking about about communism, and it's quite a shocking quote, really. Yeah, there's a quote here from actually from Karl Marx himself in Morakut's book. This is the book Options. Fabians have carefully told us that Marx was under no illusion about his Das Kapital being rubbish, stuffed with statistics to pad it out. Just before it was published, he wrote a letter to his friend Engels, dated 2nd of April 1858, in which he stated quite frankly, the whole Scheisse, which means shit in German, because it's German, as you know, the whole Scheisse is to be divided into 6 books: 1 capital, 2 landed property, 3 wage labour, 4 state, 5 international trade, and 6 world market. So a quote from, and that's quite interesting there, because you've got when he says the world market, of course we've got this globalisation now, which of course is pure Marxism. To get back to the origin of Fabian society, it's the 2 biggest figures in it are George Bernard Shaw, we're at his house here today, and Sidney Webb. And George Bernard Shaw was an Irish man. He was a playwright, he was an author, he was originally, earlier on, he was a journalist. He was a perfect front man for the Fabian society. He was a public figure. The ladies loved him especially, and very rich ladies and blue stocking type of ladies thought he was he was a good front man. Sidney Webb was the other one of the double act. He was a sort of a little insignificant little fellow with a squeaky voice, and he was the kind of engineer behind it. He was the one that understood the legal matters, and he understood the way the civil service worked, and he understood the way the British government worked. So he could supply that technical side of it, you see. the next question is, because how did they actually put all this into operation, and what did they actually do? Because they're so such a little bit known about them, and yet they've had such an enormous effect. How did they do it? Well, first of all they decided. Let's go back to the name, the Fabian Society, for example. The Fabian Society is named after Fabius Cunctator, who was a Roman general. Cunctator means delayer in Latin, and he was the Roman general that was sent out from Rome to hold back Hannibal, to keep Hannibal back from the city of Rome. Now, Hannibal had a very, very powerful army. Carthage was a very powerful state, and Hannibal was going for Rome. Fabius was the one that was sent out to try and hold him back, and he did it in a very unconventional way for the times. He used delaying tactics. He used what would today be called terrorism. He used all sorts of tactics like that. He basically letting the enemy make the mistakes, and he was terribly criticised by his own men and by the people in the city, by the Roman people. But he actually delivered what he set out to do, which was to let Rome have enough time to assemble a sufficient army to do battle with Hannibal and to overcome him. See, and after that, of course, the Romans gave him a great deal of acknowledgement, and they were very thankful to him. And then he became dictatorous. But he was that's where they get the name from, you see. Because at that time, in 1884, not many people, certainly not the common people, would have any knowledge of the classics. So they wouldn't really understand where that name comes from. In the early days, they're basically pushing socialism. This is what they're out to do. Some people say, what's the difference between socialism and communism? Well, there isn't really very much actually, but in fact, the USSR, the name of the USSR, Soviet Union, it was the Union of Soviet Socialist Republics. It wasn't the Union of Communist Republics. It was the Socialist Soviet Republics. They wanted to push communism. Shaw and Sidney Webber and the Fabians, they wanted to do it in a different way. They wanted to do it in a gradual way. They wanted to use gradualism, the same way that Fabius had used it. They knew that they couldn't achieve what they wanted straight away. So they thought, well, the only way we can do it is to influence. We use our subtle influence. They knew how to write articles and so on. But incidentally, in the first few years of the Fabian Society, it's recorded that they were giving 700 public lectures a year. You know, that's an awful lot of public lectures, isn't it? You know, and they would be giving those to trade unions and about really anybody that would listen.
Yeah.
You see, so that was how that's how they got the thing going. Now, what actually the thing is, what actually motivated them? That's the interesting question. What motivated these guys to do it? You see, and well, not only guys, because there was ladies as well. There was Eleanor Marx, who was the daughter of Karl Marx. Incidentally, 2 of his other daughters committed suicide. The daughters of Marx. So they were obviously very unhappy. Anyway, there's other women. There was Emmeline Pankhurst, the famous suffragette. She was in it. Yeah. Annie Besant.
Yeah.
Annie Besant is the Theosophist, which is basically an occult belief.
Some people have a deep, abiding respect for the natural beauty that was once this country. And some people don't. People start pollution. People can stop it. Write for Pollution Booklet Box 1771, Radio City Station, New York.